What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Reality Unplugged. It is February 8th, it's Monday, and this weekend has been packed with more things that we need to talk about or forget than my last family reunion.
Y'all come on over here and give us some love.
Anyways, I don't know if anybody has kept up with everything, but we'll start with probably some of the most prominent stuff first. I was able to check through my news feed. No, I did not watch the game. I would not sit through it. I had more important things to do. We were in church worshiping. But I did hear that the Bucks won something like 31-7. I got to be honest, I was just glad that Maxine Waters wasn't one of the referees and didn't randomly find touchdowns for the Chiefs to overturn the Super Bowl. But even though Tom Brady didn't have to fight against Maxine Waters overturning the Super Bowl that he won, he has had plenty of problems of his own since last night. I'll put the link to the Charlie Kirk show at freedom@charliekirk.com in the description down below. But it hasn't even been 24 hours since Tom Brady won the Super Bowl with the Buccaneers, confirming that he is what they call the GOAT of football, or the greatest of all time. And he is already being attacked. Now, why is the woke leftist trying to cancel Tom Brady for being white? Well, because it's just one more thing the white man's taken away from him. It's got nothing to do. He's just talented. He's just good at what he does. But because they have seen that as a minority-driven sport, and there are some wonderful athletes, from what I understand, who play the game. But it's got nothing to do with the color of skin. It's not got one thing. It's got to do with whoever is best at it. Tom, we're praying for you. We know you got a long road. You're sitting there holding that Super Bowl trophy and dealing with people trying to tell you that, man, you just stole it because you were white again. And while we're on the subject, speaking of things that are completely untrue, surprise, surprise, Alexandria Cortez has found herself at the center of attention again. Even though it has been debunked that she was not where she said she was, or where she insinuated she was, or that she over-exaggerated because they say she didn't technically lie. And she's being called out on creating this rhetoric to try to push her story for attention. Surprise, surprise, CNN and social media are jumping to the liar's defense. What is it with these people who are supposed to report the truth and let us know what's really going on in the world, and all they want to do is push the liars into our face? Here's a clip of Don Lemon and reporter Como coming to Alexandria Cortez's defense.
And listening to conservative media all day because I want to hear the other side. And I was like, I don't understand why this is a story. How is she supposed to know who's on the other side of the door? How is she supposed to know how many people were on the other side of the door? There's nothing to do with anything AOC or whatever. But I kept trying to figure out how the people who were actually involved in that siege and all the chaos could be criticizing someone else who was involved in it because she was explaining how what she thought was going on in her particular situation, it was just flat out partisanship and a distraction to Marjorie Taylor Greene.
So we finally found the breakdown between the leftist mentality and the conservative mentality. What happened isn't important. Facts don't matter. It's all about what you believed was going on or what you felt. As long as there was a consistency that went across the board, I could go with that. You are a movement that decides on how people feel is what's important. So please tell me this. Why am I considered a right-wing extremist terrorist because I believe there was voter fraud? Even though you say there wasn't, even though you say that there's no proof, and that's the reality and the fact of the situation, I believe and feel that there was. And isn't that what's important? Apparently not. Jumping back to Maxine Waters, she has something else coming, or that she's bringing up in front of everybody. See, all of a sudden now that everyone is out of the way and she is able to resume supposedly her superhero status, She is now backing up and denying that she ever pushed her supporters to harass Trump and his people and his supporters in public. Once again, this leftist mentality does not care about what the facts were. They don't care about what really happened. What's important is how I can make myself look in the moment. All right, last agenda of the weekend. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin signs military stand-down memo to address extremism. And by extremism, they're not talking about the people who were overthrowing cities and burning down buildings. No, sir. By extremists, they mean anyone who sides with a former President Trump and believes that there was voter fraud. All it takes to be a terrorist extremist these days. If you say that we need to overturn the election or we need to have forensic audits of the election, you are a right-wing conservative extremist and you need to be dealt with. Here's what's funny when you read the article about what the defense secretary signed in the memo. This stand down sounds very scary and very important. What it is each branch of the military and each base has to submit a day that they are going to not train, not run PT, and not do all these other things, but they're going to sit down and talk about how extremism affects the people we work with. Kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. This is the guy over our military. Later on in the article, he very seriously states, we will not tolerate actions that go against the fundamental principles of the oath we share, including actions associated with extremists or dissident ideologies. Service members, DoD civilian employees, and all those who support our mission deserve an environment free of discrimination, hate, and harassment. The oath we share is the Secretary of Defense, but I think maybe it's been a little too long since he enlisted. See, I'm going to tread very carefully here. I've never served, I've never been in the military. My mother was in the military. She went through basic and AIT before her knees blew out. She had to be discharged. My stepfather served in Saigon and during peacetime. But let me show you a picture of what it is an enlistment oath that he's referring to says. I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the party whose agenda is popular right now. No, that's not what it says. Defend the agenda of whoever is in power. No. That I will support and defend the government I serve. Nope. That I will support and defend the country I serve. Not even. I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, the Constitution. And that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed over me, according to regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God. G-O-D. As hard as it may be to take, our military does not serve you first. They do not serve our country first. They do not serve us first, or the government. Their oath is to the Constitution this government was founded on. And they are to defend it against all threats, foreign and domestic. And that includes the government. If they are trying to tear down the Constitution that the military has sworn to defend. Thanks for listening, guys. I'm so happy you're here with me. Remember, stay prayed up, Get hooked up with Jesus. Let's keep our minds right. Let's keep going the right way. Let's keep helping each other. You don't got a good church. Find you a good church, a good group of people to get hooked up with to get solid. If you're in Florida, you live in Arcadia or around here, go to the Upper Room Church of God. We'd love to have you. Remember, you can't let down what we've worked so hard to build up. If you've not already done it, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Punch that bell icon so you get notifications with all of our new content. Give me a like if you don't mind, and leave me a comment down below. Let's start a conversation. This is the way.